Welcome back to Media Days right here at Three Ridges Golf Course. Seymour has joined me now. Coach Scott Branton is here with two players, and we'll talk to Coach first. Coach, tell me what the expectations for the Seymour Eagles are this year.
Our expectations right now are just to compete week in and week out. With where our program was at when we came in, they were coming off an 0-10 season. We won 2 games last year, so we're just looking to build off that and continue to get better and really just stay competitive week in and week out.
You know, I know that Scott was head coach last year. You guys have just switched roles. That's what happened?
Yeah, it's pretty much just switched roles. Once it was decided, Scott was my number one recruiting mission, I guess, is to keep him on board. And he's on board. He's going to be coaching with our linebackers, and it's a huge, huge help to have him on board, not only from having his experience last year as a head coach, but just his experience overall with everywhere he's played.
Yes, you know, he's got UT, he's got NFL, so he's a wealth of knowledge for your team.
Absolutely, and he also brings an energy to the team that's unparalleled. I don't know if the man ever stops. He's 100 miles an hour all the time.
You know, having him, but your team as an overall, tell me about the one thing you know that Seymour has to do to be competitive this year.
The one thing we have to do is just focus on being positive. We have a tendency to fall back into old habits, and negativity creeps in. So our focus has to be on staying positive and finding the good things that are happening for us.
Introduce these two young men.
All right, we've got Grayson Campbell. He's our quarterback, and we have Buzz King, who plays defensive end and offensive line.
Coach, if you'll step out, you guys step in. I got one more question for you, though, Coach. Guys, let's talk about things, how it transpired. You still have Scott, but you have a new head coach now. How does that work out for you guys?
Not really much has changed. It's just a different person leading the team. Well, obviously, him being the offensive coordinator last year, he was still one of the biggest parts to what we did and how the team took on different advantages and stuff like that.
You know, that helps you that you don't have a new offensive coordinator. The system's still the same.
Yeah, it's definitely still the same. Everything is pretty much the same except for maybe the linebackers, because Scott's coaching linebackers now, Scott Gallion. So he's coaching linebackers, so that may be a little bit different, but everything else has pretty much stayed the same.
How about you? Tell me your expectations for Seymour.
I think we have really high expectations for this year, and I think we're going to have a really good turnout this year. Everybody's really working hard this year, and everybody's really coming out to play. So everyone's actually has high expectations, so I think it's going to be a good year.
Good year for Seymour. If you were a superhero on Friday nights, who would you be?
Captain Marvel.
Oh, Captain Marvel. You?
Black Panther.
Black Panther. All right. Coach, slide in here. Let me ask you this question. You got a question. Are you a coffee and donuts man in the morning or coffees and cookies?
Coffee and donut.
All right. Remember, Seymour takes on Kings Academy for our first game, August 23rd, as a part of the Sevier County Game of the Week. So make sure we'll be right back here on Your High School Sports.